The dominance of the US dollar is being challenged by nations seeking to evade financial sanctions. Are we witnessing the beginning of the end of American financial hegemony and a restructuring of global economic power? Financial sanctions have become a key tool in international relations. Countries use them to pressure others to change their behavior. The United States, the European Union, and other nations often use financial restrictions to achieve their foreign policy goals. These measures can target entire countries, specific organizations, or even individual people. So, who are the usual targets? Countries like Iran, North Korea, Russia, and Venezuela often face financial penalties. These sanctions can block their access to international markets, freeze their assets, and limit their ability to trade. The goal is to make it harder for these countries to fund activities that are seen as harmful, such as developing weapons or supporting terrorism. However, the effects of these restrictions can be complex and far-reaching. What happens when a country is hit with financial sanctions? The economic effects can be significant. Trade decreases, investment dries up, and economic growth slows down. Ordinary people often suffer as prices rise and jobs become scarce. For example, sanctions on Iran have significantly reduced its oil exports, hurting its economy. Similarly, sanctions on Venezuela have contributed to a severe economic crisis. But the political consequences are also important. Sanctions can increase pressure on governments, potentially leading to political instability. However, they can also strengthen the resolve of targeted regimes and lead to increased nationalism. But these financial restrictions are not always effective. Countries and organizations often try to find ways around them. They might use alternative payment systems that bypass the traditional banking system. Digital currencies, like Bitcoin, are also being explored as a way to avoid sanctions. Shell companies and other complex financial structures can be used to hide the true ownership of assets and transactions. These evasion tactics make it harder to enforce sanctions and reduce their impact. Looking ahead, the increasing use of financial penalties could have big implications for the global financial system. Some experts worry that it could lead to a more divided world, with countries forming their own separate economic blocs. The dominance of the US dollar could be challenged as countries seek alternatives. New economic powers, like China, could gain influence. This shift could reshape the global economic order and create new challenges for international cooperation. The long-term consequences of these trends are still uncertain, but it's clear that financial sanctions are playing a major role in shaping the future of global power. One area that requires further exploration is the unintended consequences of sanctions on humanitarian aid. While sanctions are often intended to target specific regimes, they can also hinder the delivery of essential goods and services to vulnerable populations. Another area for research is the effectiveness of sanctions in achieving their stated goals. Do sanctions actually lead to changes in behavior, or do they simply cause suffering and resentment? If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insights into the world of finance and global power dynamics.